Sarah leaned her wizened head back and laughed. Ha 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 ha! The Quadrilaterals were apparently after some friends of theirs. How petty an adventure. She spoke in terms she could only hope they might understand of the Fountain of Wisdom, the channel through which all data flowed. Sarah could leap in the very air itself. She was like an eagle or a flea. More like an eagle. She had vowed long ago that she would know this world. She would know what this world was. That she, Sarah, would know how to escape it. The Red One, who spoke wisely for a lesser, offered Sarah their help, so long as she then helped them save their friends. He said that he too had wondered of the secrets of this world and would quite like a go on the Wisdom Fountain. That was okay. Sarah marvelled at his foolishness, but accepted his help. Sarah wondered at the possibilities of the outer world. She had heard legends of a third dimension. Perhaps she'd encounter one of those curves the blind square had spoken of. Single jump each? These were truly weak creatures. They possessed heart, though. Sarah might consider taking them with her, if they were up to it, which they were probably not. They were close. Sarah sensed the presence of the fountain. Just one more portal to go, and then she would have the knowledge. And then escape. Thomas looked at the glowing beam. That list he'd been writing seemed pretty petty now. This was all knowledge, all of it, right in front of him. He was sorry Sarah couldn't step into it too. He could tell she felt the same way, from the shouting and the screaming. Thomas was connected to the internet for 12 seconds, and he had seen everything. He'd seen the cat who couldn't spell, he'd heard of the arrow through the knee. He felt there was probably a thing called cake, but that it was a lie. Thomas knew where they were. He knew what they had to do. He hoped the others would understand. They were just beyond the next portal. Knew they couldn't escape. They'd been trapped permanently from the moment the clouds ate them. He explained this to the others. It was impossible to gauge their reaction. After all, they were just rectangles. Sarah was deflated. She'd not even got close to the fountain. She could tell from the earnest expression on Thomas that the information it had imparted was clearly important. Sarah knew her destiny was now to support him. Could not accept that this had all been futile. She was a superhero. There had to be a way. Not for her to get out. Red had been pretty clear on that, but there must be thousands of other AIs up there, unaware of their situation. Was there a way to help them? Thomas led his friends to the creation matrix, the system which generated the worlds up above. He had a plan. They were going to redesign the world. That's what the humans did. They changed the world to suit them. Why couldn't they do the same? Chris was skeptical. He knew his abilities would be of no use to anyone, but Laura smiled at him. And immediately, he knew he had to do everything he could to help them get there. Laura had been born special. She understood that now. She was created to help others. If her bounce could be passed on, then this would all have been worthwhile. Thomas liked the idea of being an architect. He wanted to modify the world to help others. He was sick of these contrived spaces, these intentionally obtuse paths and puzzles. He'd do things differently. He'd empower the AIs above. Massive jumps were dwarfed by Sarah. For the first time in his life, he felt humbled, not as good as someone else. He realized that he wanted to make every AI up there feel as heroic as he had. He liked the sound of that. James still felt weird, but he realised now that everyone else was too. They were a crew of weirdos. Weirdness that would save all the normals up above. The other AIs would escape and it would all be down to 7 rectangles with very different relationships to gravity. Thomas knew he'd never meet Nathan Fillion or a Transformer. He'd never get to visit Gotham City or eat at Mooby's. It didn't matter. If he and his friends jumped into the creation matrix, they could give everyone else in the simulation a chance to.